Hello everyone, my name is Dario Guzman, and today I'm going to do my final discussion presentation on the learning strategy called Premack principle. So Premack principle is basically a type of strategy that makes you have things done first before getting something in return. So for example, let's say I like to play soccer, or let's say I love to play video games, or maybe going for a boba drink. So the way pre-med principle works is by first getting something done. So in this case, will be something productive, like doing homework or maybe doing some studying for exam. So that would be the first, and then the then would be getting something in return. So let's say first I do homework, then I get a boba drink after I finish it. So it's just like a strategy that basically helps you keep motivated while doing your task, but also getting something in return at the end. So you don't feel like you're being like as if you don't feel like you're being like just overstimulated by the task, because I know that sometimes it can be hard for students to keep focused. So this strategy basically focuses on first then approach strategy, which is something really useful for the most part. And yeah, I mean, a student like me can actually find it motivating, since most of the times I really don't like doing that much homework throughout my day. So I prefer to at least have something to look forward before I start a project or a task. So yeah, this is basically how it works. Then the next section is describe risk with research. And the way this basically works is that Premack principle is a great learning strategy, as it helps with a lot of different stuff, and research also supports this. So, for example, let's say I don't like studying for tests, but I love watching YouTube. So I could make a rule like, oh, if I study for this amount of time, I can maybe go watch a YouTube video about true crime afterwards. So this is something that I personally do because I love watching crime videos. So I would just like implement this sort of a strategy in my routine to actually get things done. And this is also supported because in a study done in 2019 by Ford, it was actually demonstrated that procrastination in college students can be avoided by using reinforcers like the ones used in Premack principles. So basically, Premack tackles common problems that college students like myself have. And one of them can be perfectly procrastination. Like the main reason why we procrastinate as humans is because we don't want to do stuff. We want to leave them for the last minute or maybe for the last moment before they are ready to be turned in. Like when there's a deadline and you don't want to do it, but you just wait until the last 2 hours to finish it. So all of those strategies, I mean, not strategies, but problems could be avoided if you use Primax principles instead. So, and the research will also support this, as mentioned before. So I feel like just the overall like research behind it and how helpful it has been for me with using reinforcers to support my learning and my learning outcome is actually being really, really, really beneficial. And I feel like it's something that many people should use more often, honestly. Then the next one is the apply section. So basically, I personally apply prerequisite to my daily task as a college student, like I said. So, for example, before completing a reflection journal for this class, I would make sure to write on my Notion, which is basically like a workspace app where I can like do like note taking and project management stuff. That I would go for a boba drink once I complete a task. Or even if it was like a larger scale project, like a presentation like this one, I would make sure like, hey, look, if I get 25% of this done by this deadline, then I will get this in return, right? So for me, one of my major reinforcers would be like eating ice cream because I love ice cream, or just anything that is sweet. I perfectly love that. And I also love watching my favorite shows, which is one of them is Dragon Ball Diamond, which is currently streaming on Netflix and on Crunchyroll. So I really would use those two to just get things done, even though if the project was like large and would require a lot of steps. I would still like try to break it down and then see if I could like finish one portion and then get some furniture and then continue from where I left it off and then just like keep repeating that the whole process of completing, getting something, completing, getting something. And I actually found this strategy like extremely useful because it actually helped me get things done on time. So it's not just a strategy that is making you do work, but it's also something that it makes you stay motivated while you do it. And you also feel like you are looking forward for something interesting or special towards the end. So I feel like this strategy definitely feels good to be applied. And I feel like more students should use it for the future. And then the other section is assets. So I personally found this learning strategy to be the most helpful in achieving all my goals for this course. I made sure to use appealing reinforcements when using the Premack principle, and it just always made me get things done. So before I implemented this strategy, I would fall behind homework and just major assignments overall. But after I implemented it, it actually became a game changer for my class routines because every time I finished something, I knew I was going to get something in return. So I think it sort of primed my mind to get things done because in that way I knew that I was gonna probably get something really, really delicious, such as a snack, or maybe just have the opportunity to get something or like see something or watch like my favorite show. So I feel like this sort of like strategy helped me a lot throughout my quarter because if it wasn't because of this, I probably would have had a lot of procrastination in my studying routines or in my work routines. And I just feel like overall, it made me keep track of how I am feeling while doing stuff and why and what I am working for. Because just think about it. If you actually work for something and you don't get anything in return, or you don't have any like major reinforcement that you would get if you finish it, you would just feel exhausted and feel like, why am I even doing this? You know, like what's the point? So I think what really comes to play in this strategy is the fact that you know you're working for something and your mind like likes that idea that you're going to be getting something after you finish the hard work. And yeah, it's just something that I personally really enjoy using. I would really welcome all of you to do. To also use it as well. And yeah, and then adapt in general is section. So basically, one way I would adapt this strategy, it would be by implementing it on my day-to-day life, future use. And this can be done in multiple ways. One of the ways that I used in this example was like how the first and then approach can be used in just everyday life scenarios. Like for example, let's say you want to burn calories, right? You wanna get more fit, get more in shape. And you can just be like, hey, you know, if I finish this cardio session in 1 hour, I can basically get this sort of reinforcer. So one reinforcer could be like maybe watching a favorite show or maybe going to a favorite spot to eat. So those are just like some common examples when it comes to like workout and just getting things done. Of course, like in such a scenario, like food would be sort of like a reinforcer that wouldn't have to be adjustable because let's say like you want to eat, then you also want to burn calories. Then in that case, you can eat something that has high calories, right? So you have to like play with the reinforcer to make sure that it also fits and aligns with your goals and the outcome that you want to get. So that's one example that I use to adapt my strategy. And I think like overall it can be used in any type of situation. And let's say you just want to become more like intellectual or you just want to have better grades in your life. So you can just like be like, hey, you know, if I finish this task or this goal by this time, then I can get this, you know? So it just makes everything more desirable overall because you feel like you have the flexibility to get what you want while also getting things done along the way. So yeah, I feel like this strategy can generally be used without like in any sort of a scenario. Like even if you feel like it won't work, you can just find something to make it work. So another example that I use was, for example, let me just check. Let's suppose like someone was having a hard time focusing on a task or like a starting something. So one could just basically use something that they know they're gonna like in order to focus. So let's say you want to focus on reading more often, right? So you will be like, hey, if I finish reading this 2 to 2 chapters per day of this book, I will get such thing. Let's say you love sushi, then you get sushi afterwards. So overall, it's a strategy that can be highly adaptable, highly flexible, and I think everyone should use it at least once in a lifetime because it really does change things. And once you actually get used to it and you adapt your necessities to it. Yeah, that's my presentation for today. I really hope you guys like it. And if you guys have any questions, let me know below. I will be more than glad to answer. Thank you. Bye bye.